an absolutely incredible guest for you all. Introducing H of Gravesham Pride. H, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Yeah, all good, all happy, having a good time?
Yes, very much so. Busy, but good.
Good. I'm so glad. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how Gravesham Pride got started.
Well, Gravesham Pride, it originally started in about 2019 now, so it's been quite a while. And basically there was a lot of people in the community were kind of buzzing and saying, you know, can we have a Pride? What are we going to do about it? And the council ended up organising a meeting to say, if you want a Pride, you need to organise one yourself. So everyone sort of looked, because I don't think people necessarily realise that they're not organised by local councils.
Yeah.
They are by volunteers. And so they said, anyone want to do some stuff? And I put my hand up with a group of other people, and somehow we ended up organising a Pride for years. I always say, you know, we went because we were being nosy, really, to find out what the meeting was all about, and we all ended up running it, which was cool.
Amazing. That's so random, and I think you're right. I don't think people realise that it's not necessarily like a given that somebody professional and organised is going to be just doing it by default. Like, it is just normal people just getting involved, right?
That's exactly it. Yeah. I mean, some prides, obviously some of the, you know, the bigger ones, you know, London and things like that, obviously they have, you know, professional committees and all that kind of stuff. But we were literally a group of LGBT people who were nosy, and we were like, how hard can it be? You know?
And how hard was it?
It was exceptionally hard. But, you know, we just thought, yeah, this will be fine. And yeah, then we organised our first event in 2019 for 2020. But then, of course, COVID happened.
Yeah.
And so we didn't really know. Obviously, we couldn't hold an event, and we didn't quite know what we were going to do with ourselves. So we decided, let's try and do something virtual.
Yeah.
So we teamed up with Medway Pride. That's our sister Pride. We call them. They're our sister Pride because we're local and we help each other out quite a bit. And we put on a virtual Pride, but none of us had ever done anything like that before. We'd never streamed a week. So it's another first. And that's how we got involved with Glitterbeam, actually, because obviously we were complete novices and Glitterbeam were professionals at streaming and broadcasting and all that kind of stuff. So that's how we kind of got involved with this station, because we said, can you help us, because we haven't got a clue what we're doing. And we put the virtual one on, and it was really successful and really popular, and we were so surprised. We had, you know, actual performers doing stuff in their living rooms and, you know, all kinds of stuff. And it was brilliant. It went on for a whole week and it was really well received. So.
Amazing. Well, we have already had some messages from listeners, including so happy the Pride is back. It's so needed this year. And a question from Daniel in Mepham. Have you noticed attitudes towards the LGBTQ plus community changing locally since you started the Pride?
Yes and no, actually. So we do get the odd comments every year when the flags go up.
Okay.
We do get the comments of potholes. We were going to get T-shirts made, actually, because there was one that said potholes, not prides, because people assumed that the council were paying for Pride, which we thought was really funny. So we were actually going to get, you know, some T-shirts done for that, because we thought that was brilliant. But we've seen some negativity, as it's a horrible place out there right now. But also we've seen some positive stuff too. So we've had people that have come to Pride events with their families. And they said, I hadn't come out before. I remember we had one girl who was amazing, and she didn't come out to her family because she didn't realise that there was a community in Gravesham, because there isn't any bars or clubs or anything really. And then she saw that there was a Gravesham Pride, invited her family along for a family day out, and then came out like over that weekend.
What a way to come out. I have to say, that is quite bodacious. That's
I know,
a lot of flair.
And I thought that was really, really awesome. So, you know, we do see that. And one of the other things that always strikes me is there was one particular time when there was a family there, and there was 2 dads, and they had 2 sons, and they came up to me and they said, you know, this is the first time that our children have seen other parents with 2 mums and 2 dads.
Wow.
And they thought that was really awesome, and that led to them setting up like a play date thing, you know, so they would all go to like meet up and do some play dates and stuff.
It's interesting that you're bringing this up, because I think something that I didn't really know until recently, because I mean I came out around 10 years ago, but then COVID happened, is that Pride is such like a family-centric event, or it can be.
Yeah.
And you can go with little kids, and you know it can be like a family picnic sort of thing, not just a marching through the streets in all sorts of outfits sort of thing. I guess that's a common misconception, would you say?
It's a huge misconception, and and I don't think Pride has ever been like that either. So I don't even know. I mean, if you think of sort of the first Pride in London, you know, that happened in the 70s, it was literally a group of people who marched through London, and then they went to Trafalgar Square and they shared sandwiches, and they had, you know, jam sessions on guitars and stuff. There was no, you know, rude stuff going on or anything, you know. So I think that's just a misconception that people have, that I think it's perpetuated maybe, you know, well, more than likely by kind of a homophobic kind of old school, you don't want to go that, they're doing all this horrible stuff. And seriously, there's no horrible stuff going on. It's just a celebration of different types of people, really.
Incredible. So I'm going to quickly plug, if you want to be asking H some questions, whether that is what is it like to run a Pride, whether it's what's going to be going on, anything like that, you can get in touch on WhatsApp 0333 090 8160. You can email us questions, hello@glitterbeam.co.uk. You can find us on social media, where we are at Glitterbeam UK, or you can message us on the Glitterbeam app. And if you haven't downloaded it there yet, then why not? But for now, I'm going to ask some questions, because it's my show and I can do whatever I like. You had a pause last year, is that right?
Yes, we did, yeah.
What happened, and how does it feel to be back?
The pause, it was basically because we really struggled to get funding last year, and I think that it was around about the time that I'm trying to be more careful in the wording I use, but I call it the I told you so bill. So It was the whole the definition of women, and then it led to sort of some really grotesque, horrible anti-trans stuff going on. And I think that a lot of people were worried about kind of sponsoring or, you know, donating money to a Pride event, because they didn't know what it would look like to their, you know, to their customers or to their clients or whatever. And so I think that that's kind of was the issue, and we tried and we couldn't get funding anywhere at all. And I know that we weren't the only Pride. There was quite a few that couldn't get funding. Some ended up sort of charging instead, keep their Prides running, or opening kind of VIP areas and all kinds of stuff to try and get some more money in. And we had a decision to make that was basically, do we go against our ethos that we've always had, where we don't believe in financial segregation, so we want to keep Pride for free, or do we charge and then, you know, go against that, or do we just pause for a year? And we chose to, you know, stick to our moral compass, really, and we were like, you know what, let's just pause. So that's basically what we did.
And how does it feel to be back?
Amazing. I was so bored and so lost last summer. I just didn't know what to do with myself. So I'm really happy to be back. Good.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. And what were some of the pressures that comes with running a Pride? I mean, you've already alluded to some, like the financial pressure and maybe pressure from, I guess, the misconceptions of sort of sponsors and things like that. But for people who don't really know what it's like to run a Pride, and I guess, again, think that maybe it's run by the council, what are some of the things that you've run into?
There's a lot of kind of security concerns. That's one of the hugest things. We're very, very fortunate to have sort of a really amazing LGBT family run security team team. So yeah, you know, so they make sure that we're mega safe. We've never had an issue in all the years that we've run. So,
really?
Yeah, never. And because that, you know, we take that really, really seriously, because the people that attend our Pride there, we don't see them as attendees, we see them as family. You know, a lot of them, it's their first ever Pride and you want them to have an amazing time. So, but there is a lot of misconceptions around that. So sometimes security, sponsors or councils or even attendees will panic about really random things. So that's one thing. And another thing is always, what can we bring in to Pride for free? Can we bring alcohol? Can we bring... And I have lots of arguments about that every single year, every year about that. But not, touch wood, not so many this year.
Thank goodness. And why is it so important for places like Gravesham to have their own sort of like personal local Pride rather than just, I mean, you're sort of a stone's throw from London. Why is it so important that you have yours rather than everybody just going to London Pride?
I think that, for one, it is smaller. So it's better for people who are kind of neurodiverse or family friendly, you know, so you're not gonna, there's an increased chance of you meeting people. There's an increased chance of you actually having a conversation with somebody because you're not sandwiched in. But there's also that opportunity of meeting people who live around the corner from you, and meeting, you know, finding out about clubs and organisations and venues and all kinds of things that you can go to that are on your doorstep, rather than you having to go off to London or wherever. Because that's one of the big things that the community has. You know, when you don't find acceptance in your hometown, there is that increased likelihood that you will move to some of these bigger cities, and you may not necessarily have an understanding or of what life is like in those bigger cities, and that can place you at risk, you know, quite considerable risk. And so it's much better to be able to find acceptance and support and love and a community on your doorstep where you can be, you know how it is there, so you can be safer there.
Brilliant. Well, we're going to have a little bit of break for some music now, if I can make sure that the computer works properly. We're really relying on my technological skills right now, which I'm really scared about actually. But we will be back very shortly to be asking some more questions about Gravesham Pride and hearing a little bit more from you. Thank you very much. That was Take That with Rule the World. And we are back in the studio again with H of Gravesham Pride. Hello, how are you doing after that little music break?
I'm loving it. Loving life.
Good. Well, we've had some absolutely brilliant questions from people. First of all, let's just dive right in with Ellie. Are you looking for volunteers? I'd be up for helping, but don't know where to start.
We are always looking for volunteers, Ellie. Always. We have a lovely volunteer coordinator, Zane, who will be thrilled to receive your email. What you can do is you can go onto our website, and if you scroll down on the homepage, you will see a little rainbow high-vis vest. Click on that, fill out the form, and it will go straight through to Zane.
A rainbow high-vis vest?
Yes.
That's absolutely adorable.
I know, I wished it was real, because that would be great.
Right? Okay, next, Lee G says, bit of a fun one. What would be your dream headline act if money was no object?
My dream headline act? Oh, I don't know. There's just so many. But there's so many that I love, yeah. I mean, I do really love Chapel Roan.
Oh.
I'll be honest, I do. But if I'm going to go local, I actually really love Aidan Sadler, who is an amazing singer. He has done our Pride before, and he was sensational. I couldn't believe how amazing he was.
Oh, so your dream headliner is actually a return performance. That's so exciting.
It would be, yeah.
Okay, next up, Hannah. We've already slightly answered this, but just wondering if Gravesham Pride is suitable for kids and families.
It absolutely is suitable for kids and families, 1000%. We have loads of kids there, and it's actually really beautiful because I've watched some people's kids grow up.
Oh.
So that's been a lovely thing for me. There's a few of them that I've seen be like babes in arms, and then sort of 2 years later they're running around and dancing, and it's so beautiful. So yes,
that's
absolutely.
So cute. That's absolutely adorable. I love that, I'm really getting this sense of community and family orientation from you guys.
Yeah, 110%. It's really, really important.
So Louise says, how can local businesses support you properly rather than just changing their logo to a rainbow once a year? In
terms of supporting the community, it is about, raising your head above the waves and being supportive all year round, 100%. Putting a sticker in the window. We have stickers that you can, we can drop one in if you're local to us, and you can put that in your window to say that you support Gravesham Pride all year round. There's loads and loads of different things that you can do, but the most important thing is kind of raising your head above the waves and saying, maybe even hold an event of some kind if you can. If it depends on what it is. If you work in a bookshop, run a queer book evening. Or
I would go to so many queer book events. I'm just saying right now, there'd be at least 2 people sat there banging down the door before you open.
Exactly. And it's about thinking, how can we do events? Because, number one, the LGBT community, we struggle to find sober spaces, and actually not all of us are, massive drinkers. Again, there's families and all kinds of stuff that are, want to have safe, lovely spaces to go. But also, it's, we love drag. Don't get me wrong, we love drag, but we also like the opportunity to have a chat and meet people. So if you are a business that does something creative, have a day doing some creative stuff, cookery classes. We're hoping to host an evening where you can tie-dye. You can learn how to tie-dye.
Amazing.
So, people can get that chance to do something with their community, have a little chat, and donations will go straight into the Pride Fund.
That would be absolutely fantastic. And finally, for our audience questions, I'd love to come, but I don't have anyone to go with, and I'm a bit nervous. Is it welcoming for people attending alone?
It's so welcoming for people who are attending alone. We actually have a buddy bench because we know that lots of people go to their first Pride events in particular on their own.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, so we've got a buddy bench. So if you are there on your own, you can come and sit on the buddy bench, and there will be somebody with you within 5 minutes. So whether that is another member of the community who's attending, or whether that's one of our volunteers, will come and sit and have a chat with you, and introduce you to some of our friends that we know, that get you some friends. You can always come to the the hub, because we have HQ, there's volunteers sitting in there, and just have a chat with us there, and we can take you around, give you a tour. Ask for me, I'm always there.
I love that. This is like a real personal, you're like a personal shopper, but for Pride. This is amazing.
Well, the volunteers, sometimes they call me, some of them call me Mama H, because that's kind of how
you're giving the vibe. You really are.
Thank you. But that's how we try and do things. We are a family. Some people have their family, and that's amazing, but other people don't. And some people, there's no harm in having a chosen family as well. And so that's what we are. I see all the volunteers are like my children. So yeah, it's just a normal thing. As I say, it's not just an event for us. It is genuinely an opportunity to connect and find who you are, and find people who are like you.
And I guess that's something you get with a local Pride that you may not get with some of the bigger there's always people that care in like the bigger city prides, but you don't get that sort of like almost one-on-one community family sort of experience necessarily.
Exactly, yeah. And that's one of the reasons why these local prides are so important, because you can find that support and acceptance and friendship and chosen family on your own doorstep. But also, a huge majority of them are free, and that is one of the biggest things. Is for Gravesham Pride in particular, we do not believe in financial segregation, so we will never charge for tickets. We don't have a VIP area, because that goes against cohesion. The whole point is a cohesion event, and then you're going to segregate within it. It makes no sense to me. So
absolutely, I couldn't agree more. So speaking of cohesion, tell us about the partnership with Cohesion Plus, and what is it going to bring to this year's Pride?
Cohesion Plus are absolute legends. I love them. They promote community cohesion and inclusion through arts. So they do things like the community mellors. So quite a few towns have mellors where they will have a bit of Afrobeat, they'll have some dole drummers, they'll have some Japanese fan dancers, they'll have different cultures celebrated through the art that they're known for. So we always link in with them, and they bring with them sort of musicians and all kinds of stuff. We have the Kings of Dole, who do Bhangra music.
Amazing.
So they come along. And they're a huge community staple in Gravesham because we have the big temple there. And so we knew we'd made it when they had agreed. They said to us, well, can we come along and do the drumming at Pride? And we were like, we've made it. Well, I don't need anything else. And we've managed to get the Dole drummers to perform at Pride, and they come
walk
along.
Away Chapel Room. Like, this is what it's really about. Seriously.
Exactly. You know, because they do a lot of the local stuff, you know, that's been around forever. And so to have them want to come to our event was just the most amazing thing for me. I think I did a little tear at the time.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
And you know, they're coming and they're actually doing a cohesion piece, which is going to be Dole drumming and also African drumming as well. So it's like an Afro Bangra type thing.
That sounds amazing.
And they always get people up and dancing. We've got loads of pictures of people dancing with their arms in the air, and it's always, we know that when you see that, that's because the Dole drummers are on.
I really feel like it shows how intrinsic, not just like you guys specifically, but how like important Pride is to a community, and like how important it is to like various like towns and cities and villages all across the UK, that you are a staple, you know, you are important, and it's important that you are there to support the community.
That was one of the big things for us. It was about, you know, challenging that misconception of actually we're not here to tell you how to do things, we're not here to try and change your community, we're trying to be part of it. We're trying to be included. And that was why, like, we do the North Fleet Carnival, and the North Fleet Carnival has been going on in Gravesham since like the 60s. And so to get invited to do the North Fleet Carnival was
huge.
Was massive for us. And I was like, there's got to be a mistake. There's no way that the North Fleet Carnival are inviting us. And, you know, lo and behold, they absolutely were. And that shows we're not, you know, trying to change things up to, you know, disrupt your norm. We want to be part of the norm, show you what we can bring to the table to make stuff even better.
Absolutely. And other than the Bangra, obviously, and the drums, what are you particularly excited for in this year's sort of programme?
There's loads of stuff. Sneaker, I'm really excited to see, because they are a local band. Again, like I said, we love to promote local talent. Sneaker are a local band. They've been around for a really long time, and they do kind of 90s and noughties indie pop kind of stuff.
Love it.
So we've got them coming in, so I'm really excited to see them. Definitely.
Brilliant. And what are the, you know, sort of elevator pitch, really important things that people need to know about tickets and timing and taking part in the march?
So all of our tickets are available for free, but you do have to register, just so we know safety numbers. You register through Eventbrite, but you can go on our website, click the little link, it will take you to Eventbrite, and you can do it. The march is from 11 until 11:30. And then the main event is 12 until 6. So yeah, just go on the website, get your tickets.
Brilliant. And how do you balance sort of the history of Pride as a protest versus, I guess, what it means to communities today in 2026 and it being a family friendly and inclusive event?
We try to, I'm a firm believer. I mean, I'm an activist by anyone who knows me knows that that is me completely. But I do genuinely believe that, you know, activism really shouldn't be on the streets. It should be in the classrooms now. It's gone from, you know, protest to education. And we do, the best way we learn is to listen. So we have spaces to just sit and chat and learn about each other. You know, you can dance and have a really great time, but you can go up to the hub and have a really great time talking to all kinds of people. From our volunteers, you know, range massively in ages and different parts of the community and all sorts of things. So I mean, for us, it's around, you know, ethical. We don't have sponsors. We are grant funded. We're ethical in the grant funds that we have. You know, we've actually given money back to sponsors who've tried to donate us money and they were not ethical, so we actually gave them money back.
I mean, that's quite big for, you know, such like a small community and like fully sponsor funded or grant funded event. Yeah,
they just basically donated loads of money to us, and, you know, be in contact. You know, we'd love to hear from you. And we actually drew the money back in a little check, and we went back to the business and said, you know, as much as we appreciate you, we can't accept the grant.
Wow.
so they were okay about it. We did drop them off a couple of t-shirts and stuff because I felt bad in a way, but you need to practice what you preach.
Yeah.
So we don't accept unethical sponsors, and that's one of the it's just the key thing for us really we keep it pride, but we also we have the old values. We still stick with the old values.
And I guess on that note, what would you say to somebody who supports equality but is in that frame of mind of questioning whether we need a pride in 2026?
You just need to go on any social media post. You need to go on any social media post around raising pride flags, around pride events, around anything connected to the LGBT community, and have a scroll and read some of the horrific stuff that people are still writing in 2026, and that's all you need to know. Learn yourself and you can see it.
Do your research. First of all,
do your research and see it. I mean, some of the stuff that you see is horrible. I remember we had a theft that happened a couple of years ago. It was really devastating to us as an organisation, and it made it to the local newspaper. And rather than people saying, "Oh, that's terrible! How could somebody steal from a community group? That's really, really awful." The comments were, I mean, I'm not going to repeat any of them because it's not worth it, but they were disgusting, some of the comments, and I was just, you just have to scroll, do your research, and you'll see it.
The proof is in the pudding, It's still needed. People are still ignorant, and therefore we still need pride events.
100%. I mean, the thing is, I remember we were sitting on, when we first rose the pride flag over Community Square in Gravesham, the first ever time, it was huge, and the group of us who were kind of born and bred within the area, we looked up at it and were like, wow, this is huge. And one of the girls who volunteers with us, she said, give it a couple of years and we'll have another section 28, but this time it'll be about trans people. She said, I guarantee to you. And yeah, sure enough, 5 years later, you can see it. We just repeat and we repeat. Mm-hmm. If you rest on your laurels too much and think, oh, things are fine, that's when issues start. So it's about little and often forever.
Absolutely. My final question, because I could literally sit here and talk your ear off forever, but at a certain point you probably need to go home, and so do I. What would a successful Gravesham Pride 2026 look like for you personally?
For me personally, you will always see me at some point during the Pride event. I walk up these big steps that we have over the fort where the flag is risen, and I just look over and I see all the people, and I always have a little cry because I can't believe, how many happy people there are. And that for me is when if I stand and I look over and I can see joy. That's all I need to see, and I'm happy.
And I guess that's what Pride's really all about, isn't it?
Exactly.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, H. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you and to hear a little bit about Gravesham Pride. Make sure everybody gets their tickets online and turns up. And yes, they are still looking for volunteers. Ellie, please go and check out that cute little rainbow high-vis vest on the website. We've got some music coming up, and then I will be doing our usual good news segment. So if you've got some good news to share, or if you just want to listen along, make sure you stick around for that. But first, it is Busted with the year 3000. Here we go.